even beyond slums and ghettos, people who are just perpetually used to being in fight or flight because they, or freeze for that matter, because they saw like a harsh upbringing. They might have been born in a very rich household, but for them, perhaps it's easier to do that through meditation. Because when you talked about the sympathetic nervous system, I have friends whose shoulders are always lurched up like this all the time, in panic and anxiety, right? And they have to be tough. This is particularly true for like a generation previous than mine, for men who they weren't sure where the next meal was coming from, so they had to like, quote unquote, develop their claws, get their fangs out, be tough. But it's like the hardest thing is to tell the soldiers that the war was long over, but they still live in like a perpetual state of war, you know? And I think so many people in our country have undiagnosed PTSD from things they don't even know about. And I have spoken to some people who have that, and they hate meditating because they're reminded.
Yes. Mindfulness practice is where you become more and more aware. It works against you. You become more aware of PTSD. You become more aware of so many other things. So that's why I say meditation that brings about awareness alone is not good. One has to get rid of all the unnecessary garbage. The cause behind PTSD, causes that triggered all these diseases, mental problems, emotional problems. We are the product, we are the results of some causes. Cause could be yourself or someone else, it really doesn't matter. Cause is there. How to reduce the impact of the cause and thus reducing the impact on our life. That requires again a combined effort by so many individuals. I give you an example from Ramayana, Lord Rama. He being the incarnation of God, he naturally didn't have any samskar or the causal seeds that can give you such a life. His life was full of miseries actually.
Yeah, horrible life.
Horrible life, right? Why did it happen? If you consider as karma, he didn't have any previous karmas to start with. Because he was newly born soul as an avatar. But what changed the course of his life? His life was influenced by unreasonable mother. She didn't have clear thinking nor right understanding. Kai. She influenced the life and destroyed entire clan. Father died in the process. He had to go to jungle with his wife and a brother. Bharat kept on lamenting the entire palace became dark. Just by how one person can influence the destiny of so many. So it is not just what is in my action, what is in my karma, but others can also influence my destiny.
Yeah. And then just addition to that, for some reason, when I was young, I just saw this book title that said, "Why do good people suffer?" And a few people I know were reading it, so I laughed because I was like, "Oh, they think they're good people." And there's only a few people I know in my life who've had a hard life and they have lived it honorably nonetheless. I find that the people who think that they're good and are nice, the moment something bad happens, they start complaining and start lamenting their destiny. Like, why does it happen to me? I do charity twice a day, so on and so forth. I mean, is that karma for them or?
His expectations run so high. Like why love marriages fail. It's like that only, you see. Your expectations are so high, and when little bit is also not met, you rebel. oh, God is supposed to do this for me. I am just giving 10 rupees to this fellow, 1,000 rupees to this fellow. I threw about 10 grams every day in the temple, my gold, and yet I suffer. Who told you to do all this anyway? You could have fed someone, or you could have stopped fighting with your driver or your maid and made them richer. It is not that the good people suffer and bad people enjoy. Deep down, you have not understood what is suffering and what is enjoyment. Have you seen the life of any of these crooked people?
Always
Apparently, they look happy. They have a palace, they have all kinds of stuff available to them. But when they close their eyes before going to sleep, what must be going through their heart? All hell let loose inside their heart. And if good people are complaining of their suffering, then they are not good people. They're greedy people. They want to transact. Oh, I did good things. I must have 100 times return on my punya, on my good karmas. Because what do? You break a nariyal or a coconut in front of the murti and expect a big victory in election, for example. Is this a transaction? Or is this not a transaction? And corruption starts with our own worship.
What do you mean by that? When people...
I give you coconut card. I give you 1 lakh. Give me 10 lakh worth of approval. You started bribing gods. You throw some prasad, you throw some coconut, you throw some gold. Does Murti take it? No. But in the heart of your heart, you are saying, oh, I have given so much, I expect so much. So our whole approach to God is topsy-turvy, full of corruption and greed.
Yeah, we don't pray for prayer's sake. We pray for a reward. Yeah.
What do we get out of it?
Yeah, you seem like you're extremely well read, because in the book, for every belief, at least for most of the beliefs that you espouse about parenting or families, there's a study following.
Yes.
And I was mentioning to a few people early today that usually when you read a book from someone who is a spiritual leader of some sorts, if I were to say this, they believe that their word alone is enough. And from here, I'm just wondering, what does your reading list typically look like? Are you reading lots of books? Have you read lots of books all your life? Are you found reading scientific papers? Because it's certainly cited full of that.
I propose studies also, many scientific studies, how it all works out. I have a deep interest in all these subjects, you see. Why, for example, when your mother says don't pluck tulsi after the sunset, tulsi leaves are forbidden to be plucked, or certain foods like white mooli or white radish are not supposed to be eaten after the noon. There is also a great scientific study about the whole thing, because of the when you pluck tulsi, the chemical that is there, active chemical, it isomerizes into another thing, which is not good for your system. It has nothing to do with God. There is nothing to do with papam. But by bringing in religion into it, common person will refrain from plucking it and save himself from side effects of tulsi. So, everything that we try to study and proclaim, we got to have a study. No, have I read everything? No. But when we say that malnourishment during pregnancy causes deformities. Thousands of articles. Effect of malnutrition on mothers to be and the fetus. You'll find them. So we have to do a lot of research that way. So not all the papers are because of my previous reading, but the belief that I share, based on that we do the research and then bring it in to the question.
Are there any top 5-6 books that you've read recently that you enjoyed, that you would like to share with people?
My most favorite these days, last 2-3 months, has been Inner Life by a Sufi master called Hazrat Inayat Khan.
Okay.
One of the finest work.
Is he from the subcontinent? Is he from somewhere else?
Hazrat Inayat Khan was born in Baroda.
Okay.
Sometime around 1800 something, and passed on before 1930. He was the man who took Sufism to Western world. And
didn't Sufism come from the West to India?
The Sufism was actually born in India, went to Middle East, and then again is making rounds around the globe.
I actually spoke to a Sufi scholar a few months ago, and she said that it traveled from Syria and Egypt and
it is true in that sense. The recordable instances are that part of the world. But the essence of Sufism lies, again, like all the religions, have the roots in India. Everything that is finest, that is you are seeing in the world, has its origin in India.
So one book is Hazrat Inayat Khan's Inner Life. What else?
On Vivekananda, the warrior saint. Another book I enjoy reading any time, like, is Osho's on mystical life.
Have you heard his lectures in Hindi?
Now and then, yes.
I've always found, at least for me, Osho as a book versus Osho as a speaker in Hindi, just worlds apart.
His Hindi, is unparalleled. If anyone wants to learn Hindi and become master of Hindi, they should listen his talks, read his Hindi books. You can really become a Hindi scholar without going to university.
Oh.
He was an exceptional personality, misunderstood personality, much ahead of time that he came into this world.
What else? Any other book?
So many. I'm not. I read 2-3 books in one go.
Morning
because I get bored of reading one, and then I get another. I keep jumping. People read it for me, though.
Do they read it out to you?
Read it out to me,
Interesting.
and then go to sleep while they're reading. So we cover everything in one go.
What's like a cool thing that people don't know about you? Like, do you listen to podcasts, something like that?
I would love to, but I don't have time. I really don't have time.
I see. Well,
I don't even have time to watch movies or news, even listen to news.
I'm sure you watched some movies, because you mentioned Mission Impossible 4.
A long time back. And also, recently I was immersed in Good Doctor, that TV series. Right? It was wonderful, but then there was another one before that. So something that goes on for half hour is okay for me. More than that,
yeah, you don't binge watch. Cool. Anyway, Daaji, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for giving me your time and answering all of my selfish questions.
You asked all the questions you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It has been wonderful.